After a quick glance around the park as I enter, I take a seat on a wobbly old bench that I noticed near a couple of vending machines. For a minute on end, I sit with my head bent over, forcing myself to take deep breaths. I feel more like an old man than a teenager who should be in the prime of his life. To stay in hospital, the surgery and the medications must be taking their toll on me. Damn it. Eventually, my breathing returns to normal and the muscles in my chest loosen. Not with a fair measure of relief. I guess this means the end of my little sojourn thought in any case. There's a cafe on the far corner, so I'll stop by to quench my thirst before heading back. A little bell above the door signals my arrival to an empty counter. For a few moments I stand there waiting, my eyes every now and again drifting from one end to the counter to the other, searching for a service bell. Eventually, a door some ways behind the counter opens. The person emerges from it, taking me by complete surprise. Isn't that the librarian? Yuko? Hi, I had no idea you worked here. I really had no idea to address her either, given that she's technically school staff and as well as apparently a waitress. Ah, yes. She quickly paces up to the counter before flinging her upper half downwards in an overact bow. Welcome to Shanghai. May I take your order? Straight down to business, I see. I don't know. Well, some coffee, please? Yes, certainly. I'll make it right away and bring it to you when it's done. Thanks. Yuko's formality takes me back. She seems to take her job very seriously. That's not bad. Taking your job seriously is not bad. It means you get to keep it. It means you get to keep your job. Obeying her instructions, I turn around and quickly glance around for a free table. Considering the cafe seems to be empty, this is a simple task to accomplish. And I'm going to switch this because I keep playing with this broken end of the mouse pad. If you guys hear this in the recording, that's me fucking with it. I need to stop. As I walk towards the table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of jello around. I'm doing it again with the other side. Fuck. Let me put my hand over here again. As I walk towards the table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of yellow around one of the table's dividers. What? Lilly, who the fuck is this dude? Lilly, you bitch. Don't tell me this is your boyfriend because I'm about to whoop this fucking stripy suit ass. You're the girl that I like, you fuck. Whatever. I like a lot of girls, but I like you too, Lilly. I guess I gotta take it as it comes. Anyways. Control yourself, Sly? Or Hanako? Okay. Sure enough, no more than a glance is needed to discern that it's a certain Satao at the table. That's it, I don't recognize the suited figure across the table from her. Blonde, fair skin, and only a little shorter than me. She, I think she must be a relative? Since you are all but silent as the suited figure takes a swig from a cup of coffee, I decided to greet Lilly. Some part of me coming here was in order to meet her after all. Hi, Lilly. Satao? Yeah, nice to see you again. The suited girl looks up, noticing my uniform with a relaxed smile. It's a girl? Well-dressed person. Know each other? I guess. It's a good approximation of our relationship as I can think of. Care to take a seat? She says this to the air beside me, but the message is clear enough that I take a seat beside her. I suppose some introductions might be in order. Hisao, this is Akira Sato, my older sister. Akira, this is Hisao Nakai, another Yamaku student. Oh, okay, it's your sister. He looked like a dude at first, I'm sorry. Looks like my guess was correct. The newly introduced Akira gives me a nod, which I return. What I don't return, however, is almost an analytical gaze with which she looks me over. Oh, shit. As she does, Yuko walks up to the table carefully, places the coffee on the table before bowing and taking her leave. Gently bringing my hand aside to the cup, I realize that it's already at just the right temperature to drink. After taking a sip, the flavor turns out to be just as good as the temperature. Yuko seems to be a lot better at this than being the librarian. I take a good, long drink before relaxing into the seat. It takes mere seconds for Akira's examination to come to an end, apparently becoming quickly bored when the activity she returns to her sister. So how's school recently? It seems Akira entirely unconcerned with someone she doesn't know at all listening to everything they say. Not that I mind leaving them to their chatting, I sit back and continue drinking the pleasant aromatic coffee. Sounds like it's pretty busy for you then. At least I'm not cooking your meals after school anymore. As you talk, I slowly realize I'm entirely unable to gauge Lily's emotion through her eyes, as I would for any other reason. It becomes slightly unsettling, and I subconsciously focus on that fact. Whoa, so cold. Weren't you just cooking for yourself anyways? I only ever got leftovers. That's not the point. Are you managing to feed yourself at least? I can cook without blowing myself up, you know. Mostly. That's... it's fine, it's fine. I needed to learn sometime anyway. Lily? Everyone present and momentarily distracted by Yuko, who places a cup of tea on the table for Lily. Taking a moment to glance at her watch, Akira levers herself off the seat and gives me a quick nod. Well, I better be off. It was nice talking to you, Lily. Akira, do you have to? Lily looks genuinely mournful at her sister suddenly leaving. It does seem like she might have the wrong idea. Sorry, I need to get back to work. They'll be on my neck again if I don't make it back quickly. So informal, Akira's trim and titty appearance will give more than the wrong impression of her. Bye, Akira. Come on, don't look so down. I'll be around again soon. See yous. With that, she waltzes out of the Shingai with her hand held high. Well, with her hand or hell? Lily still looks pretty depressed, so I try to make some small talk in efforts to take her mind off of it. She seems nice. We used to live together, but now that I live at school, we hardly ever see each other. Despite Lily being quite affable, is that how you say affable? I still don't really know much about her. In hindsight, it's surprising just how much she extracted from me, really. You used to live together. Was it somewhere around here? It was pretty far south, so the trip into Yamuka was fairly long. With her working hours getting longer and Yamuka being so far, there was very little choice in the end but to move into the dormitories. Well, that explains the chatter about cooking. Evidently, regaining her composure, she livens back up, at least in part. I take you're better rested now. Sorry? You seem less exhausted than you did when you first came in. To be able to pick out by breathing like that, she must have pretty good ears. Yeah, and they're all walking all over town despite only on taking a short walk down here. Reminded of my thirst from the walk, I lean forward and take a sip. Without further ado, Lily starts on her cup, strong smelling tea. I guess I better get going back to Yamako. There's only so long I can start studying for, and I want to get good at night sleep before the festival. Standing from my seat, I take the coffee stained cup from the table. You leaving? Yeah, you going to head back as well? It's getting kind of late. For a moment, she paused before lifting her face over her teacup as she was looking at me. Yuko, could we have one more coffee, please? Okay, I'll bring it right away. That's not subtle. She gets a short giggle at my frank assessments for her maneuver. Surprisingly childish and carefree given her otherwise collected appearance. In the end though, I have a little reason to refuse, to be honest. I can hardly say no, all things considered. Giving a manufactured site, I take a seat opposite to her. Wanting company then? I say that's more than I was wondering. I see that she's she's in questioning mode again. She does seem to be unusually interested in me, or at least curious. Do you have any siblings? Not exactly an expected tangent. No, only child, to be honest. The idea of having someone that close makes you envious. Interesting. I raise my eyebrow, which of course goes unseen. The short silence communicates the questions well enough. It's just that others have said the same thing before. It's a difficult subject to try and think about objectively, given that I always had someone like that. I can mostly understand what Lily means, given that it would be hard to place oneself outside of a situation they've been in all their lives. She and her sister must have a pretty close relationship. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yuko dutifully, I can't even say it, my god. See, that's what happens when I get dry, like, I don't have to talk this much in other recordings. This recording just fucks my fucking vocal cords so bad. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yuko dutifully comes over and places a cup on the table. Lilly thanks her as I sit back taking in this vexing girl in front of me. Despite always seems to be on her guard and in control of herself when talking to others, she has almost childlike curiosity about other people. That said, those rare moments she seems to slightly lower her guard are the most insightful into how she thinks. Reaching forward for my drink, I realized something I probably should have noticed earlier. I think I'm starting to become kind of curious about her. Despite making a good pace, it's already nightfall by the time I reach the large iron gates in front of the school. While it's nice to have plenty of time to wander around the virtue of living right next to the school, I can't help but to get the feeling that very few students actually take the opportunity. Compared to the number of students I see miling around on campus during free time, it's startlingly rare to see anyone around town. Given the large number of accommodations and facilities that the schools offer, many of them slightly not see any point of venturing outside and let alone people such as Hanako or Kenji. It makes me wonder if students like Shizumi, Misha, and Lilly are the exception for the school rather than the norm. As I wander back to my dorm room, I continue to compare my old school with Yamaku. As I do so, I begin to be surprised that I managed to get even this used to everything that has happened to me. Is another chapter done? Holy fuck. And man, the green screen didn't cover this part. I just realized that. This and this. Good thing it's this color. It's kind of normal in this game. Look, it's like almost the same color. It works. The next day, I wake up feeling a little bit lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just the Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the Subway booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming weeks, but I probably consider those as ominous as others, and I'm not worried about them as I probably should be. Without the urgent obligations regarding education, that actually sounds really cool. Without no urgent obligation regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Well, the first part was actually kind of rhyming, the second kind of fell off. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his store, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone's doing something. But then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room, or possibly something like a fort complete with no girls allowed outside, and with the girls crossed out of it and nobody curly crawl underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What? What is it, man? Nothing. I was just gonna ask you what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out already. Where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can't hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to swerve the snipers. God damn it, Kenji. It's a festival, you know that, right? Oh shit, that's today? Oh damn it! Can't believe I forgot I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a very bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window socializing. Kenji rubs his temple, never suddenly looking very ill. It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn, I was gonna go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything's ruined. This is awful. This sucks. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. Here comes a burp. Baby burp. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself for myself, and now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to anything today. The weather's even good. Yes, it was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though. So there's no reason just to stay inside. You should check the festival out. Kenny groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me alive out there. I know it. That has to be a joke. But he said it with such straight face, relatively straight. What are you gonna do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I don't know, I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first, and then check out the other attractions. Your class probably seemed pretty cool, and I gave a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lilly, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligations for the project? Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that is in the way of my great vision, as I expected of blind people. Really? What? I thought that you were also. He holds his hand and interrupts me. Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther any man before me has seen. Kenny looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statements, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just the curve of the wall to let me read this. Actually, it's just a curve of the wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind, and it's dark one, unless the third woman is stifled. They are everywhere. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the light out myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival, okay? Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenny just said. After buying a plastic plate of taiyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat to the school gardens and watch people pass. I tentatively nibble away at the rather bland tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain, it's better than nothing and it didn't cost much. As I look towards the school, watching the people come in and go improves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Little children accompanied by parents or grandparents scamper around in the din from the event to event. One hand dragging their company and the other one bearing an oversized colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here are skewed towards the elderly, something that I also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that live here their whole lives, ardently refuse to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their lives in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that also goes a way of explaining how conservative Yamako school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit, I kinda like how calm Yamako and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for as long as I have focused my mind on how unknowingly humid it's getting, now that the hottest part of the day is here. I better get moving. Ah, gah! The sound of curling bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up. A reaction shared by a few other people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bell ends. It shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival, thus very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smile of the older folks against the alternately paid and bored grins of the younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay a little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all the united in polite. Wait, no, let me read that again, and let me drink this again. I'm reading way too fast. I need to slow down. Now that I have my drink in hand, and then I place it in the table. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand in my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glanced around for something to do. It's something somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decided to fall back on a try and trust the rule, go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the cool courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into the trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the numerous stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have adopted to have multiple stalls. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. Lilly's stall is as good as a place to start any. I'm curious as to how is it going after all the work she and her class have been doing for it. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere. It's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As the students in front of me take a bowl of noodle and leaves, I walk to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing this moment, I take a quick glance around. Scene seems to be rising from everywhere as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being held by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice that Lilly among them, taking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression, the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops out again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lilly pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Sorry about that, we're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a second to remember what I come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side and read the menu sitting on the counter. I get some miso soup? Oh, is that Hisao? Yep, looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confers as she drops her waitress bouquet. Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed and we're trying to fix it, but now it looks like we only have half of what we need. Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem? It seems like that's what we'll have to do though. I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either. I glance behind to see how many people are actually operating the stall. I couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left? That's right, she's going to try and round up a few more classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I swiftly glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking place in line. I guess I better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's some money for the soup. Soup, alright, coming right up. Lee turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup and hands over the money for it, as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help to notice how efficiently she counts them with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I hand her out the correct change, she puts it in the small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns subsequently and passes it to me. Thanks, I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Hisao. And there's one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gets a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then. Sure, I'll keep an eye for Hanako too. Thank you, Hisao. I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling to the steamed wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but to feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. Can't be really helped considering I was dropped in school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that the few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. Seems that the teacher's mission paid off. There are now a dozen students helping as much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lilly still appears somewhat stressed. Right, I know what I'll do. Even if it's just one person, I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. As I place the bowl on the counter, I call out to Lilly. Oh, Hisao, you brought it back? Yeah, here. I slide to her hand and she takes over to someone who is apparently on clean duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably a penalty for their tardiness. Hey, Lilly. She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing that I'm still here. Want to go see some more of the festival? She puffs her cheeks disapprovingly and looks kinda cute, in complete contradiction to her usually reserved nature. It takes a few seconds for me to get what she's taking issue with. Whoops. I didn't mean to. Lilly giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is. You're still not used to school, are you? She got me. So I kind of need to stay in our stall. It's taken until now to get everything unpacked. I guess her reluctance shouldn't be overly surprised me, considering how much she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, she got an extra help hand anyways. A boy in the middle cooking some soup noodles turns to us grinning. Go on, Lilly, you earned yourself a break. We can hold down the fort for now. If you say it's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help, then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. Lilly finally gives up her resistance and as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lilly seems kind of worried about her, and I doubt she'd be the kind of person to enjoy milling about in crowds like this all alone. So I guess we should search for Hanako. Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room? I doubt she is. She doesn't keep too many things in there, so she has nothing to do. Ah, the library! A good place as any to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check there first then. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd sleeping from the outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all these events were organized to be held outside on school grounds. They're definitely quite large by any other school standards. It's nice and quiet here, isn't it? Yeah, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our mind and slowly walk to the first floor of the school, eventually reaching the stairs for the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lilly anticipates every door and obstacle. Her cane remains still and her hands skating along the hallway railings. You really know your school well, don't you? She smiles and nods straight ahead. I've been here for a few years now, so I know where everything is. The doors still trip me up though sometimes. I haven't been there as long and there's not as well laid out as the main building. If I remember right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and used as dormitories. That explains why the male and female dorms look differently from the outside and why their rooms seem kinda unusual for sleeping quarters. I assumed she's been living in the dormitory since she began attending the school, but now I'm reminded that what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. I assume that most of the students here live in dormitories once they enroll. A lot of them seem to in any case. Lilly's expressions become somewhat harder to read. My questions evidently touching on a delicate point. Well, how should I say? Everyone has their reasons. Something tells me that one of those reasons is Hanako. Hence her tiptoeing around the answer. My own predicament is yet another such case. I guess it's a choice everyone here would have to make for themselves, or in my instance, have made for them. Can't be helped, I suppose. At least Yamago itself seems like a nice place. It's good to hear you say that. I thought you were coming to dislike it. What about you though? My reversal of Lilly's statement takes her by surprise. I've been here for a while, so it's not that you just seem a little it's not that. You just seem pretty depressed about Akira. What's with that look? Akira's taken. Sorry, Hisao. Lilly never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Hey, I was worried about you. That's no way to respond to concern. Well, she gives an amused grin. We round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. That's funny. She accuses me of liking her sister when I like her. Or I don't know if I like her. I do! She's a cool person. My character seems to be really keen with her, so. Oh, there she is. As we do so, it isn't hard to spot Hanako, considering the room is completely devoid of anyone else. Given that there's no staff around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Hey, Hanako! Hanako is here? She hears our voices. Hanako's head flicks up from behind a book, probably the same one she's been reading on Friday. Hasao? Lilly? Just how we dropped by, Lilly just managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, really surprising both of us. I just thought that Lilly might not be enjoying the festival. Well, now, we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out to the library and towards the festivities. Yay! Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you guys really enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It shows your support. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, then subscribe so you never miss a video. Woo!